Count money, man. Stack riches. Try and told him I'm a beast, bud.
What's up, gang? Welcome back to another episode of the GRINDcast. Get ready. It's a new day, and let's talk about from dollars to difference. Earning money doesn't just help you. It allows you to help others and to make a difference. And the more you generate, the more you can share with others. And it also works in reverse. The more you give on accident, what ends up happening is the more that you'll receive. Giving will help you develop a bigger vision and goals that isn't just about you. So often in my journey, I run into people that lack vision, they lack purpose. So of course, if you lack vision and purpose, you lack motivation. And if you look at motivation, look at the root word of motivation, and it's motive. What is your motive? And I think the more you make the motive all about yourself, the less motivated you're going to be long term. You could be short term motivated by all self, but long term, it won't last if it's only about you. It's okay to have pieces of it about you. It's hard to take care of others if you can't take care of yourself. But I think the pinnacle level of it is I think you could find purpose in how you could make your business more than a business if you really look at opportunities to do so. I know people that are chiropractors, but every time people go to the chiropractor, their spirit also gets lifted. I know people that are massage therapists, but they also are mental therapists, and they counsel people mentally, spiritually, and lift them up and lift their spirits, and you could tell that they're walking in their calling. Different than, let me give you a massage, let me get this transaction of money. You could just feel the passion of wanting to help, wanting to make a difference that will provide so much joy and so much growth to both parties. And so I don't care what you do. I don't care what it is, bus driver, nurse, teacher, sales, business leader, plumber, electrician. If you look deeper into how can you make a difference, whether it's with your energy, your love, your time, your heart, your care, or your money, in everything that you do, there's a way to make a difference. And the feeling that you get from making a difference will always trump the feeling that you get from making some dollars. Immediately, when you're successful, you do well, with money or whatever, you can help yourself, you can help your family. But then it goes to, how can I help others in the community? How can I start or pour into or invest into different foundations in the area? Can you help your grandparents? Can you help your in-laws? What things can you do to make it more about others than only yourself? I want to encourage you to look at what can you do outside of what you do to make a difference. I think you can make a big difference in what you do. For example, one of my mentors, early mentors, when I started out in business at 22 years old, he almost retired from the business and he was going to go into youth ministry. He said he had a dream where God told him in the dream that he didn't have to go to the youth. He was going to bring the youth to him. And I look at the way that he's been able to make a difference in so many people's lives through the business that just goes generation to generation. if he didn't get done just as much, if not more, in the current position that he was already in versus leaving and doing a different position. So I know you can make an impact right where you're at with what you want to do, with what your skill set is, what you got. If you find out and think about it that way, find a way to do it. Like if I want to play the drums, but I'm a police officer. Man, go to a school as a police officer, make the kids not scared of you, talk to them about doing the right thing, and then play the drums for them. There's ways. But then there's out of work. Like, how can you make a difference out of work? Out of work, I would like to encourage you to look at, you either can give money or you can give time or you can give both to something in the community or something that makes the world a better place that's outside of what you do. For us, for me personally, I had, Mother's Day was not too long ago. I was talking about on Mother's Day, I was blessed with some great moms. If nothing else, there was times we struggled financially. There was times where our vehicle was embarrassing to drive. But man, I had a great mom. I had a great mother, grandmother. I had a great great-grandmother. I've had great other mothers in the community, in the area, that would wrap their arms around me and act like a mother when I needed it. Same with some of the men. And so I look at that and I look at, man, there was times where I spent brief moments in juvenile. I had opportunities to see what it's like to live in a place of poverty and be around others that are going through poverty but have just enough help with my mother, my grandmother, and others, to where even in that circumstance, I could get pulled out briefly to go to this camp or to go to this school or to have some things that even they didn't always get exposed to. And so I always felt privileged, but also I got to grow up in it. This isn't like I read about it or I just know what it's like. And so I've always had empathy for people would look at others and say, oh, they're a piece of crap, or why do these kids act that way, or why do these people do those things? And it's because they don't understand what it's like to walk a mile in those circumstances, in those shoes, if you didn't have those great parents that you had, or if you didn't have those resources, or you didn't have that school, or you didn't have those opportunities. What could your life have been like? And so I always felt like I was blessed, given a pass, lucky, don't even understand how. I got to go and see all of that and then get to a place where I was able to be okay, to where I can not only have knowledge to share with people in those circumstances, but financial means to be able to go in and help start programs that can serve these kids in these communities to give them a better opportunity. And so the first one that we ever did, and when I say we, it was never me, it was a board of people. It was people that started helping us make that happen. It was people in the community, that would pitch in. And so we, over 10 years ago, started a branch of a youth program that was already running, that I got inspired by, that I would donate to financially. I would go visit, and I seen what the founder, Derek Tolles, Inspiring Minds, was doing in Warren. There was only one. And I said, how come we don't bring it to Youngstown? And he said, man, we just don't have the person from Youngstown that's willing to put in the work. And I said, let's do it. So we partnered up. We did it. Meanwhile, in the process, my wife's pregnant. First year or so, getting the program running, I'm driving 2-3 days a week back and forth to Youngstown, back to Pittsburgh, just to start this program. And now a decade later, we're watching kids graduate, get scholarships, and not change the whole city, but change the portion that we were able to with what we had. and it continues to grow and continues to prosper and continues to succeed. The people of American Income, I'll never forget one of the meetings. They brought us in and everybody contributed and donated when we first started, and I think gave over $30,000 to help get us rolling and get us started. And over 7 figures has been donated through our organization, and some of the fundraisers that we've done, I would say close to $1 million, if not more, somewhere around there, to make this stuff happen in the lives that have been impacted, in the struggles that we've overcome, and the setbacks and the adversities that we've overcome, is something that has brought me great joy and meaning and purpose. And so, that came from a position of loyalty, because I felt like I didn't want to leave Youngstown, where a lot of my roots and my heart come from, and go have a little bit of success and not come back home and do anything. So that's where that came from. And then, I looked up one day 3 years ago, and I'm about 16 years into living in Pittsburgh now. So this would be 12, 13 years I'm in Pittsburgh. This is my next home. I raised my family here. We built a business here. I start getting the same feeling of like, that's cool, but what have you done to make Pennsylvania better? What have you done to make Pittsburgh a better place? And I think so often people get overwhelmed by what they cannot do, that they don't jump in and do what they just can do. Man, I'd love to have a huge program that services the whole city of Pittsburgh, but we got the blessing to start in Stowe Rocks 3 years ago here in Pittsburgh. Community of great people, reminds me a lot of Youngstown. They got a lot of the same struggles. They got a lot of the same heart, though. It's where we've went from just a couple kids, one person on the honor roll, to this year over 50 kids and half the people on the honor roll, and experiences all over the place. Those things are the things that'll bring you great meaning, purpose, and joy to your life when you look back on it, of like, man, that's something nobody could take away from us, no matter what, is those programs are rolling and lives are being impacted. And that's a lot of these, they'll never be able to pay you back. I'm already planting in their mind, hey, the only thing I want from you is when you're in a position to be able to come back and help others here and others all around and make a difference and come back and help your community. That's what you could do to help us. In our business, a few years back, we had a vision, a big vision. Man, still to this day, I'm like, man, can't even believe we made that happen. A few years ago, we had a vision going into the year that we wanted to make a big difference. We wanted to all give collectively together, and we all came together, and we pitched in money, and we donated, and we all came together, and we found the way to go help buy a house, paid off completely, to a single mom that had a heart for the Lord. That was like the two things I was looking for, is like, man, can we have a single mom with a heart for the Lord? But we ended up just having a couple people put in, and then we had people just randomly pick who they thought. And we picked this young lady who was doing her best, super, seemed like very educated, good mom, doing her best. And so we blessed her, and we were able to come together, and we bought her a whole house. Wasn't a mansion, but it was well over $100,000. And I remind people, we sold our first house that we grew up in, my mom and I, for $11,000. And then we bought the second one for $30-some thousand. And I think it sold, when we sold it, for $60,000. So I think the both of the homes that I grew up in didn't add up to over $100,000 at any point. And we were able to gift that, no bills to the person, other than keeping up with your, normal utilities and taxes and whatever else. But the whole home was taken care of. And I think that all started with the vision that Jim Serace gave me and my mentor gave me about how important it was to give back. And I get inspired by watching some of our people in our business that are young people, and you'll watch them make big money, but man, there's a good portion of our people out there that are tithing right now to their local church, 10%, and they're making good money. Your influence matters. Where you're at, you can impact other people. Just like I bring up, my mentor, Jim Serace, and how it taught me. And then me speaking about it, I've watched other people in our organization do it. Now I'm watching their people do it and be givers. And so I'd like to see, man, that's an honor of the guy that taught me that legacy. I'm watching that get passed on to everybody else. Not just about production, but about your production and giving and making a difference in others. People say, hey, I'll show you where your priorities are at if you show me your checkbook and show me your calendar. So even if you can't give of your money, man, I'll challenge you. Can you go for an hour a month, couple hours a month, once a quarter? What can you do to just go pitch in? Even the heaviest couch becomes light if you got 6 people carrying it. Just do your part a little bit. We had a scripture that we were reading. We had it pulled up today. Luke 6:38. And it says, give, and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over, will be poured into your lap. For with the same measure you use, it will be measured to you. Regardless of where you're at right now, financially, you're capable of racks. We need to bring that back. Josh, remember we had racks days. Yes, random acts of kindness days. We challenged the whole office to go out there and do random acts of kindness. Bring back a proof or a video, and we would pick a winner. And we would get them sweats and get them gear and stuff, and us all go out there and do random acts of kindness. Let's do that in July, Josh, because we're already focused on doing something for July. Let's do random acts of kindness. But no matter what it is, it'll reap a return of what you put into it. Whether it's your heart, your mind, your money, whatever it is. And so the message for today is to give of yourself. Whether you got it to give right now, time, money, find a way, even a little bit. Or if you need extra motivation, go back to your root word of motive and envision yourself. Your thing might not be inner city youth. Yours might be breast cancer. Somebody else might be Down syndrome. Somebody else might be somebody that's physically challenged, handicapped, whatever it is. Anything that is near and dear to your heart, that could be a source of a vision that you see, of a motivation of like, man, what can I do to go make the world just a little bit better in that area? And sometimes that's all the drive that you need to find a little bit more purpose to get you focused on your mission, to where it's not all about only the money. That'll give you the extra motivation to go do what it is that you need to do. So this week, let's encourage ourselves. Let's encourage others to not only make dollars, but to turn them dollars into a difference that we're making out there. As always, we're grateful for the opportunity to spend some time with you wherever you're at. And just want to say thanks for joining us on another episode of the GRINDcast. Get ready. It's a new day.